Okay, everyone, from that clickety clack sound, it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 7, season 1, and today's date is June 26, 2022. And thank you for joining me today. Oh, we're going to have a fun episode today. Um, Here's the complete list of the shows I'm going to talk about by decade. The first one from the late 1940s will be Captain Video and his Video Rangers. From the 1950s, is the TV sitcom Norby, that's spelled Norby. From the 1960s will be another sitcom, My Mother the Car. From the 1970s will be Three for the Road, that's a TV drama. From the 1980s will be a primetime soap called Berrengers. From the 1990s, it'll be another TV sitcom named Hudson Street. And last, from the 2000s, will be a TV drama called Inconceivable. Okay. And the purpose of this show, for this podcast, that is, I discuss TV shows that are largely forgotten and rarely syndicated on the airwaves. They might be there, but not. But you can search online, like YouTube or streaming. It might be there. You never know. Okay. Before I get started, this podcast will go into a commercial break, and this program is brought to you by Behold Furniture Polish. And this commercial is from 1978. Enjoy, everybody. Thank you.
Here's my old furniture polish, Pledge. Here's my new, Behold. Here's why. I had problems cleaning greasy marks like these crayons. I'll spray Pledge here, Behold here. Guess what? Behold clean the mark better. Frankly, both are fine for shining, cleaning, and protecting. But why not use the one that cleans greasy marks better? And are you ready for this? Costs less, too.
Behold, a lot of cleaning for less money.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial for Behold Furniture Polish. That product is still around. You can find it at any store, Walmart, Target. I believe you can also on Amazon. And it's not one of the most popular brands, for furniture polish. So I think Pledge is number one. That's still there. Also, do you remember Endust? And there was Old English, and there was another one I forgot. I can't think of the top of my head. But that was the main ones I remember when I grew up in the 70s. They showed these commercials all the time. In the commercials they would show all types of furniture, and people would write on it or spill any rings on it, and they demonstrate how clean it does. Does a good job. Okay. So let's get started on these shows I'm going to describe on TV Oblivion. Okay. So here is the first one from the late 1940s, and that is Captain Video and his Video Rangers. Oh, a lot of people don't remember this show, but they do remember other shows that reference this show, if you know what I mean. It's kind of funny. So here's something that's very notable about this. It was the first science fiction TV series that aired. It aired on the Dumont television network. Okay, and let's see, it premiered on June 27, 1949. Oh, that's tomorrow. Yeah, that's so it's about a long time. And it ended in April 1st, 1955. And it aired on Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m., like at dinner time. Oh, boy. And they cut down one day, and then it went through just 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. There was a spin-off series called The Secret Files of Captain Video, and that aired on Saturday mornings. So I think that maybe that's separate. So that only ran about a year, just a year. It only had 20 episodes. And they estimate there was about over 1,500 episodes. So, and this was done live. This was done, yeah, it was done live. And their sponsors were Post cereals like Raisin Bran, Grape Nuts. I don't think Grape Nuts was there. Skippy Peanut Butter, and Peter Paul's Powerhouse Candy Bar. I remember this candy bar. It was very good. I like that. And they had all these toys that that the Captain Video and his Video Rangers used on the show. And they had a flyer saucer ring, a secret seal ring, and electric goggles, a secret ray gun, a rocket ship keychain, decoders, membership cards, and a set of 12 plastic spacemen. Oh, that was great. If you find these on eBay, they probably cost a fortune in good condition. So I might add. Okay. So the plot of the show was it's set in the Earth in the future, and it was just a group of fighters. They were like superheroes, and the leader was Captain Video, and the group was the Video Rangers, and in their uniforms, they looked like they were from the army, and they had lightning bolts sewed on. You know, it was, and Captain Video had a teenage companion. His name was Video Ranger, which I think it was played by Don Hastings. He was famous for his long running role on As the World Turns. That soap opera was gone, and also they fought a lot of bad guys on that. And one recurring character was a robot, and his I don't know, his real name was either Itober or Robot I or something like that. And it was the first time they showed a robot on television, you know. And the villains they had was Dr. Paulie. I seen a clip of this on YouTube. He looks like what does he look like? He looks I can't think of what he looks like. He looks like he looks like a Klingon from Star Trek. Yeah, he was Oriental. We say Asian. Sorry. And there was another villain. His name was Nargola, who was first played. I don't know if other actors played, but it was played by actor Ernest Borgnine. That was one of his early TV roles. You know, because he was in the movies, and he played McHale's Navy, and he won an Oscar for Marty in 1953, 54, around there. So they had a lot that, and also it was very popular with kids, also adults. You know, it was that's paved the way to science fiction. There were other science fiction shows in the 50s and 60s, and so that it just took off. It was great, and it was shown in black and white, of course, and there were two actors that portrayed Captain Video. Okay, and let's see. I'm trying to think who he is because I can't think of it. Oh yeah, one was Richard Coogan. I think that's his name. He was only there for like 7 episodes, so you hardly notice, and he left. He couldn't because I think he had an offer on Broadway, and he just didn't want to work anymore. Also, and the other guy who was Al Hodge, and he played for the rest of the run, and he was famous for that role, and that typecast him forever. They really did. Okay, so I'm going to play the introduction of Captain Video and his Video Rangers. It's about a minute, almost a minute and a half. And the introduction has the sponsor Post Raisin Bran. Luckily, I found that. So here is the introduction of Captain Video and his Video Rangers.
Post, P-O-S-T, P-O-S-T, The cereals you like the most. The cereals made by Post. Take you to the secret mountain retreat of Captain Video, electronic wizard, master of time and space, guardian of the safety of the world. Fighting for law and order, Captain Video operates from a mountain retreat with secret agents all over the globe. Possessing scientific secrets and weapons, Captain Video asks no quarter and gives none to the forces of evil. Stand by for Captain Video and his Video Rangers. Brought to you today by Post's Raisin Bran, the fruit and cereal treat. Crisp flakes plus tender raisins. The raisins add flavor to the flakes, and the flakes add flavor to the raisins. Post's Raisin Bran.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction for Captain Video. Like I said in the beginning, that ran for how many years? 6 years. Yeah, and that's a long time for a science fiction show. There are not that many copies of the show because it was done in kinescope, and most of them were tossed in the river. That's a story about that. Someone worked at the Dumont network, but a few survived, and you can find a few clips and a couple of episodes on YouTube if you're interested. Also, there's one last thing about the show. When I posted this, someone mentioned it and asked me, please talk about the reference in the Honeymooners. And I said, absolutely, I will, because, well, let me explain. On the classic 39 episodes of The Honeymooners, the first TV episode was about Ralph Crandon and Ned Norton chipping in to buy a TV set. Only it ends up in Ralph's apartment. I won't go into details like that. And in the middle of the show, there was a scene where Ed Norton comes downstairs with a box. And he puts on a space helmet. And he had a disintegrator gun, and he's reciting the oath of Captain Video, and it's the most funniest thing I ever saw, And I won't give too much. Well, I don't want to go into more detail of that, because then when Ralph entered the room, because he was in the bedroom getting the newspaper, he got shocked to see Norton wearing that thing. I would be too. And he was like a big science fiction fan. In other words, he was a nerd, like me and other people. And so most people remember Captain Video, not from the TV show, but from that episode of The Honeymooners. And that episode aired in 1955, right after Captain Video went off the air. So it's amazing. Maybe there was a reason for that. I don't know. So if you're an avid Honeymooners fan, like me, my brothers, a couple of friends of mine, one of them, if he's listening to this program, he knows who he is. It's a classic, and it's still funny. And so that's what Captain Video was most memorable. It was the first science fiction show on television. Also, the reference to the Honeymooners. Okay. Now, onward to the second show from the 1950s. It's a sitcom called Norby, and that aired from January 5th, 1955 through April 6th, 1955, and 13 episodes. That's it. What's notable about this show, again, is that it was one of the first TV shows that aired in color. And color televisions back then, they were very scarce. A lot of people didn't buy it because it was expensive. Even black and white was expensive. And it was kind of experimental. Not really experimental, but it was the first one. And So that starred David Wayne, an actor, he portrayed Pearson Norby, and his wife, Helen Norby, was portrayed by Joan Loring, and they had 2 kids. And the premise was he worked at a bank. He was a vice president in charge of a small town bank. It was setting for Pearl River, New York. And he had like conflict with this boss and other people, and then also not much conflict at home. Not really. It wasn't like slapstick comedy, so that was fine. And let's see. So I will play the introduction of Norby. I found it, so that's very rare. And that program is sponsored by the Kodak Eastman Company, makers of color film. How perfect for it. So here is the theme song for Norby. Thank you, everyone.
Eastman Kodak Company presents
Norby. Folks all know that I love Norby. If you wonder why, just come down my street. I want you to meet my Norby. My Norby.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to Norby. Before I start on the next show, I'll give you a little something about David Wayne, the actor. He was a very famous Broadway actor, television, movies. He did a few movies, and let's see, and he's famous for his TV role as the Mad Hatter on Batman. He was good on that. I like that. I like that character, and he was a collector of hats. And when he tried to obtain a hat, he would he would take it off the person's head, and then the person would turn around, and then his top hat would pop up, and there's these mesmerizing eyes, and then it goes zzz, right in the eyes, and the person will be knocked out unconscious. So in the comic books, the Mad Hatter, he was a collector of hats, but there was also another Mad Hatter, and he was based on the character on Alice in Wonderland. You know, you have the Mad Tea Party, so he's still there. And he's famous for that. I've heard somewhere he wasn't crazy about the role, but amazing like that. And also he co-starred with Jim Hutton on the Ellery Queen series in 1976. So I'll talk about that future date. I have that program DVD. It's a good show. I like it a lot. Okay. Next up, I will talk about My Mother the Car. Oh boy. This one is very famous because most people say it's one of the worst TV shows that ever aired. Believe me, there are others, I've watched a few episodes. I have it on DVD. No, actually, I watched the entire thing. I have it on DVD, excuse me. And, but it was kind of endearing in a way, but it's a terrible idea, so I will talk about the history of the show. Okay. It first aired on September 14th, 1965, ended on April 5th, 1966. It was the pilot episode was shown in black and white, and the rest was color. It had 30 episodes, and it starred Jerry Van Dyke as Dave Crabtree, excuse me. His wife was Maggie Pierce as Barbara. And the kids, Cindy Eibacher was Cindy Crabtree, and Randy Whipple was Randy Crabtree. They kept their first names. That's good. And the car that spoke, the voice was actress Ann Southern, a very famous movie actress, TV, and yeah, like I said, she played Dave's mother, but she was reincarnated as a 1928 Porter. Actually, her real name is Gladys Crabtree, so that's her name. And anyway, so that didn't rerun after that, not much, but there was reference to other TV shows like The Munsters and Married Tyler Moore. And also there was he had a supporting cast member, and that was Captain Bernard Manzini, and that was played by Avery Schreiber, and he was a very funny man, and he was famous for his Dorito commercials. You know, with his he was like the Snidely Whiplash of that show. You know, from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Excuse me. So I don't know why Jerry Van Dyke accepted this role. What was he thinking? He probably think it was a good idea. In a way, it was. But in the '60s, there was a lot of fantasy shows back then. It was like Mr. Ed, Bewitch, I Dream of Jeannie, The Flying Nun, others like that. So I'm going to play the theme song of My Mother the Car, and then after that, I will talk a little more about the show and where the car is now. So that's interesting. So here it is.
Everybody knows in the second life we all come back sooner or later. As anything from a pussy cat to a man-eating alligator. Well, you all may think my story is more fiction than it's fact. But believe it or not, my mother did decided she'd come back as a car. She's a very own guiding star, a 1928 Ford. That's my mother, dear. She helps me through everything I do, and I'm so glad she's here. My mother the car. My mother the car.
Okay, everyone, I am back. Excuse me. That was the theme song from My Mother the Car. It's a very catchy tune. The singer on the theme song, he was an actor and singer. His name was Paul Hampton. And let's see, the car was a 1928 Porter. They existed. The Porter cars were around. They were there about like between 1919 and 22, over 100 years ago. Wow. And the car, it was called a 1928 Porter Stanhope. And there was a man, the man that rebuilt it, his name was Norm Grabowski, and he took a 1924 Ford Model T and restyled it like that. And there was a stunt car, and that was built by George Barris. He was famous for the Batmobile on Batman. And the car that was on the set of the TV show is located in Edmonton, Alberta. So it was owned by some man named Dave Bodner. So if you've traveled to Edmonton, you look it up and you could find it. And the stunt car it changed hands over time, and then it is now at the Star Cars Museum in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So if you and then it was sold again, and now it's at a historic festival, and it's in Lakeville, Connecticut, as far as I know. So they're still around. So if you're interested in seeing that, the TV show My Mother the Car, it's on DVD. If you are interested in buying it, I was just, and when I first watched it, it was okay. It was silly. Had some good guest stars there. It really did. Yeah, it was. It really had. I remember Charles Grodin. That's one of his earliest roles. He was in there. And so that's very interesting, like that. So that is, if some people say it's the worst TV show ever aired, it probably is. But it's okay. It's not horrible, but it's not Emmy winning television. Oh boy, that's funny. All right. Next up, for the 1970s, I'm going to talk about Three for the Road, and that's a TV drama. Okay, and here we go. And that aired. It first aired on September 14th, 1975, and ended November 30th, 1975. 12 episodes, not long. And when I was growing up in the 70s, I remember the promos of this show, and they showed it during the summer, and they looked very interesting. It was heavily promoted. I remember that. And the show starred, the stars were Alex Rocco, Vincent Van Patten, and Leif Garrett. He was a photographer, and he had this RV. It looked like an RV. And he took his sons, and they traveled across the country. And he was a widow. He was a recently widowed father. And what's interesting about that is, so they met people on the road. No violence, just a nice family drama and all that. And the star of the show, Alex Rocco, you may remember him in his famous movie role as Mo Green in The Godfather. He also starred in a famous, just a one-season show, The Famous Teddy Z, that aired in 1889. I remember that. And this starred him and John Cryer. So he was but he's mostly famous as playing Joe Polachek's father on The Facts of Life. It was like a recurring role like that. His sons, they were famous, played by, like I said, Vincent Van Patten, Dick Van Patten's son. He also starred in a previous show, Apple's Way. I discussed that in a previous episode. And also Leif Garrett. So I'm going to play the theme song of Three for the Road, and then I'll talk a little bit about Leif Garrett. A couple trivia things about him. So here it is. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Three for the Road. Talk a little bit about Leif Garrett, who played one of the sons. He was a very popular, famous teen idol in the 70s, and he was a child actor, of course. And I think the TV show that he was first noticed was he played Tony Randall's son, Leonard, on The Odd Couple. I remember that. And then he did, he he did some other acting roles, and he did that. And he was very young and all that. And he was also in from the Walking Tall movies. You remember that? Yeah, I've seen the movies about a few times. It's been years since that. Also, he was a singer too, and he had a couple of hit records. His famous song is "I Was Made for Dancing," all night long. I like the song. It's kind of, and he performed that song on Wonder Woman, and because he starred in the show, and he also sang that song too, and it's very catchy. That was the disco era at that time. He doesn't do much acting now because he's had some run-in with drugs and legal stuff, and that's a shame. So, but he's a good singer, and he seems like a nice guy. So, God bless him. I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's doing fine. Okay. Next up, we go to the 1980s, and the show I'm going to talk about is Berringers, and that is a primetime soap opera. In the 80s, there were a lot of them on the air, like, for example, Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, and then the Colbys came later. And then, so that was dominated. That genre was dominated in the 80s. So they figured, why not? Why don't we do one on NBC? Most of them aired on CBS and ABC. Not NBC. They never had a successful one. Never did. That's a shame. So the show premiered on January 5th, 1985, ended March 16th, 1985. Not many. And there were 12 episodes, I believe. And there was one that unaired. And it had a good cast. It really did. And the plot of the show was, it was set at a department store, a very elegant, opulent store. That's how it was in the 80s. It was rich like that. And it was from the same people who produced Knots Landing and Falcon Crest. Okay. And they had the usual primetime soap plots, deceit, fighting, control of power, of a company, and there was like fighting, also affairs like that. That's how it was. The star of the show was the patriarch. His name was actor Sam Wanamaker. He did a lot of movies and TV. He was a very famous actor. I'll read some of the names you might recognize, not everybody. So there was Claudia Christian. That's one of her early TV roles. She went on to play in Babylon 5 with Jeff Conaway. He was in the show. He's famous for Bobby from Taxi. So he starred in that. And there was also Andrea Markovici. I think she's a singer and an actress. Also, there was Yvette Mimieux. She just passed away last year. Wonderful actress. Anita Morris. And there was also Jack Scalia, if you remember him from a one-season show with Rock Hudson called The Devil and Convention or Connection. Excuse me, Devil and Connection. That aired in the early 80s. And also there was Ben Murphy, and he's famous for that TV Western, Alias Smith and Jones. It was one of the last TV Westerns that aired. It was a good show. I have it on DVD. And Cesar Romero starred in the show, but he was recurring. And then he went to Falcon Crest. So the location shots of the show was at a real department store, and it was called Barney's in New York. And that department store, well, it's gone now, but it was in business for almost 100 years, and it's like Marshall Fields in Chicago. That's what it was. So that's a shame. That's a real shame. And so right now I'm going to play the theme song, Berringers, and it's very catchy. I like it a lot. So here we go. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of Berrenger's. Not much about the show. I watched it. I remember it was on. I liked it. It was good. It's too bad it wasn't successful. It didn't catch on. There wasn't an audience for that. But I doubt if you talk to anybody today, they won't remember it. No. So there's some clips on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and watch it yourself if you'd like. It's had a good cast, a good premise. It's a shame. It went to the TV graveyard again. Okay. Next up, we talk about a show from the 1990s, and that is Hudson Street. It's a sitcom that starred Tony Danza and Lori Loughlin. And let's see, how many episodes? It ran for 22 episodes. It premiered on ABC September 19th, 1995, ended June 19th, 1996. And let's see, the plot of the show was Tony Danza played Tony Canetti, another Tony. He played Tony. He was named Tony in Taxi. He was named Tony in Who's the Boss. So he's another Tony. I think he started another show named Tony. Probably not. I know, but that's it. Like Lucille Ball. And he was a divorce detective in Hoboken, New Jersey, and he shared custody of his son with his ex-wife. And so he worked and raised his son, and then he started a romance with Lori Loughlin. She played Melanie Clifford, and she was a crime reporter. And that was basically what the show was about, and it was in between those two hits in ABC. There was Roseanne and Home Improvement. They were powerhouse blockbuster shows. They were popular, but it didn't last long. It lasted one season, and a lot of people forgot about it. And then it moved to Saturday nights, and then that was the end of that. And he had a good cast. So I watched the show. I really did. I remember watching it. It was good. Tony Danza is a very good actor, and he's very charismatic, very friendly. You feel like you want to take him out for a beer at a bar and just talk to him. That's how he was. And so right now I'll play the theme song for Hudson Street, and it's a catchy tune. So here we go.
People say that love will stay. Maybe today is the day. This time it just feels right. Maybe tonight's the night. Now, it may seem impossible, but I'm ready to take the chance. I believe lovers' stars are uncrossable, 'cause I've moved my share of rubber tree plants. People say that love will stay. Maybe today's the day.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Hudson Street. Yes, that is Tony Danza singing. Excuse me. He's not bad. He's pretty good. Because he's, like I said before, he's a very charismatic actor, and you feel right at home when you watch him on television, because he was a boxer before he got into acting. And so you can still watch him on Taxi reruns, Who's the Boss reruns. He's there. I don't think he started another show. I don't think so. But that's another sitcom that's gone to the graveyard. Yeah, it's a shame. Okay. Another one thing. Lori Loughlin starred on this show right after Full House got canceled. So she just moved on to that. And, she went on to more acting. Then she was famous. She got arrested, for the college scandal. So I hope she's doing okay. I like her. She's very, very pretty, very nice. Okay. Last show I'm going to talk about, excuse me, is Inconceivable. Excuse me. Drink some water. Okay, here we go. Inconceivable was a medical drama, and that aired on September 23rd, 2005, ended November 4th, 2005. Oh, very short. And the plot of the show was it took set at a fraternity clinic, and there was doctors, lawyers, I think other people involved, and I remember the promos of that show. I really did. And the funny thing, it didn't catch on, so that's a shame like that. And it starred the stars of the shows was Angie Harmon, remember her from Law and Order. She played Dr. Nora Campbell. There was Jonathan Cake, who played Dr. Malcolm Bowers. Also, there was Ming Na Wen. I can't pronounce her name. So, and she's famous for as an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is, I love that show. It was wonderful. And she played Agent Melinda May on the show. It ran a long time, so that's great. And she was in the Joy Luck Club, that movie. It was a good movie. I like that. And she did other television shows like that. When she played on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she looked kind of tough, and she never smiled. She was like, oh my, she was ice cold. Ooh, my God. I didn't mean to step on her toes. But she was also famous on ER. She played a doctor, Dr. Jean May. She was Deb Chen. I didn't know that, but that's amazing. So she had a good career. She had a very, very good career. She still does, she still acts. So number of episodes ran about 10, 11, something like that. After the second episode it aired, it got canceled on ABC. So, and it was never seen again after that when it ran through about 9 shows. So it just lumped along. You can't find that show on DVD. I don't think so. But I found the theme song on YouTube, so I'm going to play that now. So here's the theme song of the 2005 series, Inconceivable. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I played the theme song for Inconceivable. So that was another show went to the TV graveyard. So that's a shame. I never seen the show. I never saw it. I wish I did. So I wish there was an episode available so I could see it. I think there's like one or two clips, and that's it. So that was that. Okay. So that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will do a recap of what I talked about, starting with Captain Video and his Video Rangers, the TV show Norby, My Mother the Car, Three for the Road, Berringers, Hudson Street, and Inconceivable. So this show will be available very soon. You can listen on any podcast that's available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Breaker. Also, it's on Audible. I didn't know that. And Audacity, it's there. Yeah, I just found out. Yeah, it's there, and it's also on my YouTube channel under TV Oblivion. One note I want to tell you, sometimes when you upload something on YouTube, they have copyright things. They're very strict and very funny. So maybe certain theme songs you might not hear. So I apologize for that. If you want to hear the full, that's kind of the edited version, edited episode. But if you want to hear the full episode unedited, go to an app on your phone or in your computer and listen in, and you'll hear the whole thing. Isn't that funny? So that's all for episode 7. I'm your host, Pete Costanis for TV Oblivion. I will do another show next week sometime. It'll be episode 8. Some more goodies coming up. And be sure to listen on my other podcast, Vanished Chicagoland Stories, wherever podcast is available, also on my YouTube channel. And everyone have a nice day, and thank you for joining me again. And so here is the ending theme song of TV Oblivion, and it is I always forget, the Pick and Pluck song. I always like that song. It's fun. So take care, everybody. Thank you, and goodbye.